first of all of the Chris's are here. so it's me, Christy D, and then we've got Chris Sterio, aka Christian as well, and Chris Carr as well. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
It's fabulous to have you here. I'm not alone anymore.
It's lovely to be here again, Christy. Thank you for having us.
It's a Chris party.
It is a Chris party, so I'm going to have to look directly at each of you when I ask you.
Just point, okay?
Just point. Well, let's come to you first then, Chris Carr, because obviously the last time we spoke, you were gearing up, weren't you, for what was happening in Tower House over the course of this summer, which, as we know, it's been a little bit curtailed.
We're jiggling stuff about. So it was a lovely surprise, actually, from Martin Bushes. Obviously, everyone's been reading what's going on with Tower House, so we can't get people in, we can't get people out. But the effort for our drive and our campaign for mental health was always to combine the brilliant talent we've got here on this Isle of Man. I cannot big this place up enough, okay? Plus, and we'll call them the fancy pop stars from across, okay? So it's always nice to get a nice cross-section of both artists. So obviously Tower House was all geared up for the top end of the music world. So when Martin says, Chris, do you want to fancy in 9 weeks of some music on Port Erin Beach? It was a no-brainer. We just jumped at the chance, and obviously we can keep momentum. It was important to keep the momentum going with the mental health campaign that we'd started. We didn't want to lose it through COVID.
So you are supporting a local mental health charity with this, aren't you?
We are. Tower House has been designated 6 different charities. So for each gig at Tower House, they'll have a designated Praxis, I'll Listen, Bridge the Gap and so forth. Now the ones on the beach are all going to be for Reach, Adam at Reach. And he apologised, he should have been here tonight, but he had to pull out the last minute. But for anybody who knows Adam, he's a really lovely lad. And the thing that he's doing, the work he's doing out there, is absolutely, can't do enough for the lad.
And it's crucial at the moment, isn't it? I mean, we've just heard that tragic inquest of the young guy that lost his life last week. And this is so really now more than ever, it's so important to talk about this, isn't it?
If it couldn't get compounded any worse, we'd sort of start the campaign with mental health, which was bad enough anyway. We have to get stuff out there, we have to talk about it, we have to make it better for ourselves because we're in this together. But it got compounded with COVID-19 and people then start being stuck at home, I suppose reflecting on things. It could have been money problems, it could have been job problems, and you'll know by the last recent weeks on the Isle of Man we've lost some beautiful people.
That's so true. And obviously your whole series of events was inspired by something very similar, wasn't it?
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So let's get talking about this. It's important, and music is important, isn't it? Music is it just lifts our spirits. It can be something to really turn to.
It's a natural correlation between the two there. And if you talk to professional people in the music world, there's a natural connection there between mental health and music. So they intertwine into each other lovely. So if we're going to do it, we'll do it through music and rejoice through music. It's a wonderful way.
Well said, that man. And we are joined by musician, producer, DJ. We've got Chris Sterio with us. How exciting. It's the first time I think you've been on the Live Lounge.
That's it. It's the first time. I've been on Manx Radio in other capacities, I think a sporting one. I think going back a few years, Roy McMillan had me on as well with talking about some music as well.
Roy.
So it's great to be here, and thanks very much. And nice to see you.
And you took part in this Port Erin bunch of events last night, didn't you? Tell us about it.
Yeah, last night. Yeah, obviously we were a bit dogged by the weather, so we had to go inside. I think at one stage I wasn't going to play, but we managed to sort it out. So I ended up playing in between Alice, so it worked out well. And we had quite a few people dancing. There were a few people inside, a few people outside. I'd told of quite a few people I know from my day job, and a few people came down, and I saw some familiar faces, so it was really good. And Roy S. Promote was there with his Facebook Live, and
legend,
showing everybody that we're on the Isle of Man and we can go to the pub and have a good time. So
oh, people must be so jealous right now.
I think he was showing a pint in front of the stream as well at one stage. I mean,
brilliant. And just for those that don't know, because obviously you've been on the scene for some years now, and you've been making music, producing music. You collaborate with a lot of people as well. Just give people an idea of what it is that you do.
Yeah, sure. My passion is electronic music and like specific sort of type progressive house. I've run a record label for over sort of 20 years. I've been to America, around Europe. Had over 100 releases between my labels and the productions I've done. Been out to America quite a few times. I've just had an album of collaborations out on Monday called Collaborator. So just music I've made with some artists over here, some in America, some in Europe, some in the UK. So just still putting things together, still putting some new tracks together now. Just emailing a few of my collaborators today. We're just deciding on new projects and things like that. So obviously music's been a massive passion for me and something that gets me really excited. And there's been times where I've sort of maybe tried to cut back a little bit because I've got a family and I'm based on the island and got a day job, but I just keep on putting the music out and it's something that excites me. So yeah, and it's great to have Chris support me. Recently,
I'm so proud of him. I couldn't be any prouder of his dad. I was talking to Mike Wade last week when we were putting out the thing on the paper, and I said, I've got a young lad, not a young lad, but I've got a lad.
Actually,
I've got a lad DJing. I've got a lad DJing Saturday night, okay? And until you actually look at his CV, and he's been around the world with his music, okay? And that's when it tips my scales, because any Manxie putting stuff up around the world, that's what we advocate. That's what we're building. That's what we're all about, okay? Let's tell the world what the skill levels we got on the island. So when I heard about what he did, and he did a great set last night, but and he's a lovely lad to go with that as well.
He's all right, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's all right. Well, we're going to hear something by Chris in a little bit. Chris Sterio, Christian's here. So we're going to hear something from him in a little bit, but also we're going to give you an idea of some of the artists that are involved in this Deep South Music Festival, sort of mini festival that's going on in Port Erin.
I think Linda Neal called it Bitesize.
Bitesize, I love that.
Sounds quite trendy, doesn't it? Linda called it Bitesize. We're going to go with that there. So it's Bitesize. We're on the stage. If the weather will let us, obviously we'll be inside the pub tonight because the weather looks a bit grey outside. So we'll be inside tonight. And we had to scramble last night to get Alice and Christian in. So we're going to have to play it by ear. We're on the phone to the Met Office every morning of the gigs just to see where we are with the weather.
Oh, a typical Isle of Man, isn't it? It was glorious a week ago, and now look at it.
Yeah.
But there are ways and means, aren't there? That's the important thing. So as you said, last night it was Alice Dudley and Chris Sterio who's with us today. Tonight, Broken Rooster, and tomorrow this gentleman will be performing from 8 p.m. It is Ian Thompson.